Hello, one and all. Welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one, we're going to discuss Robert Whittaker's recent interesting comments when he addresses his opponent the night of UFC 308, Khamzat Chimaev. We're going to talk about these comments a little bit more, but before getting started, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. Robert Whittaker has had some interesting comments to make when he addresses his opponent or when he addresses the subject, generally speaking, the night of UFC 308. He talks about Khamzat Chimaev. Robert Whittaker seems to be a motivated Robert Whittaker, obviously. As of late, Robert Whittaker has been gaining the wins, back-to-back wins. Last time around, he was in there against an undefeated opponent. This time, he welcomes, I want to say, the newcomer to that 185 division. I do understand that Khamzat Chimaev has been going back and forth between welterweight and middleweight, but generally speaking, this guy was known as a welterweight fighter. Unfortunately for Chimaev, he wasn't able to make weight on numerous occasions, which led the organization to push this guy towards the 185. As far as I'm aware of, it wasn't just not possible for the guy to make 170. Now we see Chimaev at 185. Not only is he fighting at 185 for the bout UFC 308, but he's going up against, obviously, Robert Whittaker, former middleweight champion. We spoke about this fight so many times as a community. It's because this fight deserves all the attention and respect. Both guys, fantastic athletes, tremendous fighters. Both, obviously, one ex-champion and the other one has huge potential of becoming champion. Perhaps will be potential champion, or excuse me, will be champion of the division some point in the near future. Only time will tell, but obviously he has a Robert Whittaker to deal with. It's a true test for Chimaev. Like I said, Chimaev last time around was in there. I want to say last time around was the Kamaru Usman fight. Generally speaking, neither of those guys dominated the other necessarily, but obviously Chimaev gets the win, the undefeated Chimaev, that is. But there were points of that fight where, especially latter stage of the latter round, especially the last couple minutes of the last round against Kamaru Usman, Chimaev looked a bit shaky. And I believe the Gilbert Burns fight was before that fight. That fight was, in any other day, judges would have gave that one to Gilbert Burns. Fortunately for Chimaev, that was not the case. Now he steps up and waits to face a former champion, obviously, of the middleweight division, the guy who's on the up and up, obviously. Last time around, defeated an undefeated fighter. And generally speaking, Robert Whittaker's looking as good as ever. Obviously, Whittaker's had some comments to make when he addresses his opponent the night of UFC 308. He says that Whittaker says that he wants to bury Chimaev. Bury, obviously not in the literal meaning of the word, but in terms of his career. And there is a high likelihood that, Chimaev could possibly start the decline for Khamzat Chimaev. Obviously, it's a possibility. I'm not siding with either guy. I'm not saying that this could happen. I'm just saying the likelihood of this happening against Robert Whittaker is very high. Just taking into consideration that the guy's former middleweight champion, and he's had a 2 wins in a row at this point. And, Paulo Costa being one of those wins. And obviously, last time around, he was in there against the undefeated fighter. So a couple wins in a row, and he's the former champion. So if anybody's able to do said thing to Chimaev, it would be Whittaker. Obviously, there are bigger challenges in that middleweight division, but I believe that it starts with Robert Whittaker for Khamzat Chimaev. It's going to truly determine where Khamzat Chimaev stands in that middleweight division, at least, because Robert Whittaker, like I said, is a heck of a test for Chimaev. Not siding with one guy over the other. We're just discussing the comments from Whittaker, which are very interesting to say the least. In all honesty, those are very strong choice of words from a guy that picks his words carefully. The respectable Whittaker, former middleweight champion. Super excited for this fight. Cannot wait for UFC 308, shaping up to be one of the best cards of the year. Perhaps it's going to have multiple fights on that card that are going to be in contention of fights of the year. This fight is definitely one of them. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments and like, subscribe for more.